Want to know how your students are feeling? Then share first how you are feeling. Have you ever had a situation where a student of yours did something, childish? Maybe you even asked out loud, "What were you thinking?" I know I have. And then you got the three-word response, right? "I don't know," as they blankly stared downward. You know what? That student may very well have been telling the truth. I think this is obvious, but I'm going to say the obvious. Kids are not adults. Part of the reason is because their prefrontal cortex, the thinking and reasoning part of their brain, is still developing. They may really not know why they did what they did in that moment. In a future video, I may share about the prefrontal cortex and classroom management and allowing for think time. But today I wanted to talk about socio-emotional health. Just like kids sometimes don't know exactly why they did something, sometimes they struggle with telling you how they are feeling. If a student told you, "I feel so sad. My heart is broken. I just lost a close family member," wouldn't your heart break with them as well? But that's not how kids often communicate. Ever have a friend or loved one ask you gently, "Is everything okay?" Only to have them say, "Yes, I'm fine," and then stomp away? Are we okay? No, right? So just as self-awareness can be a challenge even for adults, it definitely is a challenge for our young people. So what can we do as educators to help our students to identify what they are feeling? It may begin with building empathy, and we can do that in our content areas. Let's say we're studying about history and the fall of Rome. Perhaps if you get a picture like this, we can pause and then ask them to use their five senses. What do they see happening? What do they hear? What do they smell? What do they touch? What might they taste? What do they feel? Here's another idea. For various reasons, students may struggle with the language to share how they are personally feeling, but some may be willing to click on an emoji for check-in in a Google form, as so many of us educators did during distance learning as we checked and connect with our students. And here's another idea in class, and sometimes it's called a weather report, where students share how they're feeling through weather. And here's another idea. If you have that trust, perhaps you can use a feeling circle where you can really start to identify and get specific. Are you going to solve all the students' problems when they express their feelings? No. There are a lot of things you can't change, but oftentimes a person just acknowledging where they are at and being heard helps them to feel cared for, and that can make a difference. Also, if I know a person is having, let's say, thunderstorms, I know to show even more grace than I ordinarily might. Later, I might have a one-on-one conversation with that student to learn more. Oftentimes, students will feel like they don't have the permission to openly share until the teacher models being vulnerable. They often have to see you do it. When a teacher models being vulnerable, it often opens up the doorway to conversation. I don't think I have to share with anyone, though, that to not overshare and to keep it, PG or even G, right? As students learn to identify their own feelings and feelings of one another, they grow in their EQ, or their emotional quotient, which some people say these days may be more valuable than IQ. If you're doing this, developing and investing in EQ, way to invest in the whole child. So if you haven't incorporated SEL into your instruction, where might you begin? Begin with you, and perhaps incorporate some of the ideas we talked about. Do you have some strategies that work for you? Please be sure to add that in the comments. If this video gave you an idea on how to incorporate SEL, please be sure to hit the like button. There'll be more videos coming out throughout the year, so if you found this video helpful, please be sure to subscribe. Once again, just a reminder, I'm not a psychologist or a counselor, so this is not psychological or legal advice. Everything on EdFamily are just my personal thoughts. This is Dr. Jeff at EdFamily, signing out.